Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. Hope you are in the best of health and taking due advantage of this time. My dear students, welcome back to our grammar class, and today we are going to learn this active and passive voice. This is the second class of this topic, active and passive voice. In the previous class, you learned two important terms, subject and object. Now today we will start this main topic, active and passive voice. My dear students, first you should know what is active voice and what is passive voice. A sentence is said to be in the active voice when the subject is the doer of an action. It means when the subject performs the action, when the subject does the action, at that time we say that the sentence is in active voice. And passive voice is when the subject is the receiver of the action. It means the subject is not performing the action, he is not doing the action, instead he is receiving the action. Here in active voice, the emphasis is on the subject. Here we give more importance, more weightage to the subject. Here we focus more on the subject. But in passive voice, we lay emphasis on the verb and the object, means the receiver of the action. Here we give due weightage, due importance to the verb and the object. You see, my dear students, Taha writes a letter. You see in this sentence, Taha writes. Who writes? Taha writes. So Taha is the doer of this action and she is the subject here. So Taha writes what? Taha writes what? A letter. Simple. So a letter is the object because it is acted upon. So Taha writes a letter. Here Taha is the subject and a letter is the object. But you see this sentence? A letter is written by Taha. Here we are not giving due emphasis to Taha. Instead, we are laying more and more emphasis to this letter. We say here, a letter is written by Taha. Letter is not the performer of the action. Instead, letter is the receiver of the action written. Mom cooks food. You see, my dear students, mom is performing the action, she cooks food. So here mom is the subject, she is the doer of this action, cook. Now you see here, food is cooked by mom. Here we are laying emphasis to this food, we are paying great stress on this food. So here food is the subject, but it is not the doer of the action, it is the receiver of the action. We play hockey. Now you see, we are the doers of this action, play. We are the subjects. So here subject is the doer of this action. So we can say that we play hockey. This sentence is in the active voice because the subject is the doer of the action. Now if we see this sentence, hockey is played by us. Here hockey is the subject, but it is not the doer of the action, it is the receiver of the action. Sunny sold books. My dear students, you see, Sunny is the doer. He has done the action. What action he has done? Sold. And what he has sold? Books. So here books is the object, sold is the verb. And who has done this action? Who has performed this action? Sunny. So Sunny is the subject. Here in this sentence you can see the subject is the doer of this action. So we can say that Sunny sold books. This sentence is in active voice. Now you see, books were sold by Sunny. So you can see that here books is the subject, but it is not the doer of the action, it is the receiver of this action, sold. So we can say that this sentence, books were sold by Sunny, this sentence is in passive voice. My dear students, again we will say that active voice, a sentence is said to be in active voice when the subject is the doer or the performer of the action. When the subject is the doer or the performer of an action. And a sentence is said to be in passive voice when subject is not performing the action, when subject is not doing the action. Instead, subject is the receiver of the action. Here, in active voice, we lay great emphasis on the subject. We highlight mostly the subject. But here, in passive voice, we give more importance to the verb and the object who has received the action. Now you see, my dear students, Toha writes a letter. Toha is the doer, so she is the subject. And here the subject is the doer, so we can say Toha writes a letter. This sentence is in active voice. A letter is written by Toha. Here a letter, we are talking about the letter. So letter is here what? Letter is the subject. We are talking about the letter. We are speaking about the letter. So here letter is the subject. But the letter is not the doer of this action written. It is the receiver of this action. So we can say that this sentence, a letter is written by Toha. This sentence is in passive voice. Mom cooks food. Here mom is the subject. She has done this action. She is the doer of this action, cook. So we can say mom cooks food. It is in active voice. Now if we see food is cooked by mom, you can say that we are talking about food. Food is the subject. But here food is not the doer of this action, cook. So food is the receiver of the action. But here it is acting as the subject. When the subject is the receiver of the action, at that time we can say that the sentence is in passive voice. Sunny sold books. Sunny sold books. You can say that here Sunny is the doer of this action, sold. So we can say that Sunny sold books. It is in active voice. And here books were sold by Sunny. Here we are talking about the books. Books is the subject, but it is not the doer of this action, sold. It is the receiver of the action. So we can say books were sold by Sunny. It is in passive voice. Now my dear students, you will again have a look at this active and passive voice. It is when the subject is the doer of an action, and passive voice is when the subject is the receiver of the action. Here we are talking about this letter, so it is the subject but it is not the doer, it is the receiver of the action. Here food, it is the subject, we are talking about food, we are speaking about this food, but here it is not the doer of this action, it is the receiver. So these sentences, these very sentences, they are all in passive voice. Here you can see that Toha, mom, we, Sunny, they all are the doers of the actions. So here the subjects are the doers of the actions. So we can say that these sentences are in active voice. Hope my dear students, you have understood what is active voice and what is passive voice. Inshallah, we'll see you soon in the next class. Till then, fi amanillah.